Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin' Mommy, and it's Monday, March 10th, 2025, here for my weekly cross-stitching update. Smokey isn't here today, so I managed to get her to come up here. So hopefully she will show herself somewhere in the background as we go. So I have a few things to share that I picked up this week. I have some things from the back quarter shop, so I guess I'll show those first. There's some quilty stuff, summer picnic. These are some of the new things. There she is. Hi, kitty. Here's Smokey. And Americana flag. Oh, scrappy Americana flag. That's really fun. I like that. By Lori Holt. The first, yeah, both of those are from Lori Holt. And any more quilting? Here's For the Frill of It, designed by Jocelyn Ewing. That's fun. Little dresses. And Strippy Spools, but also by Jocelyn. I don't know if I'm saying her last name right. But they're different thread, like bobbins and then tall sewing threads. She's freaking out because I have a plastic bag from Joann's that I will show you in just a second. It's very scary. So the cross-stitching things they have out now are called, there's Henny Penny by Kim Deal, which is shown stitched up on a bag, which is really fun. And then they have a matching needle minder, so that's cute. And another Hometown Neighborhood birdhouse. These are by Lori Holt. This one has a big bird on the top, which makes sense. It says, "Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all." Emily Dickinson. So that's fun. I like that it has like a wallpaper kind of background stitched on there too, which is kind of fun. You could even maybe pick a fabric with dots or something if you wanted to. And then the next in the seed packet series, these are by It's So Emma, and I'm stitching daisies, which I'll show you in just a minute. But this is February's, and I'm planning when Daisies is done, which may or may not be this week, I'm going to go back to my Cats and Hearts series and do one of those, and then I'll pick this one up and do this one. And then I'll go do November Cats and Hearts, and then I'll keep picking up these series, and just those will be my travel pieces. But I kind of want to intersperse them a little bit. I do want to finish the Cats and Hearts series before May and November, those respective months, so that I can display them this year. And then what my cat was disturbed about was this big old bag of floss that I got at Joann's, because as we all know, they're going out of business, which is very sad. I worked there, my first real job in high school, and now they are going to be no more. So I decided, well, Hobby Lobby and Michael's are still in my town, but their floss is never on sale. So I might as well just get what I can while it's at least some sort of sale. So I got one of everything that they had left, which was a lot. My discretionary has a little bit depleted now. And I also picked up these buttons, which are really cute. They're like sparkly, but they look like they're not like glittery, where the glitter is going to fall off. It's built-in sparkle. I was going to make needle minders out of those. I got a couple, also one of every thread that I didn't remember that I had from the Gutermann 103 silks they have, which is the, here's some more, which are in their sewing section. Those are finer than DMC, so I have been using those occasionally for backstitching on 1/1 projects, and I would like to eventually stitch something real tiny on 56 count over 1, and I'm hoping that that thread will be thin enough. I know Swasserfien is like the thinnest ever, but it's also super expensive. So I'm gonna try something else first. Maybe I'll put this over here. It's okay, Katie, you can come back. I'm all done with that bag. The scary bag. All right, let's do my travel stitching. This is the Daisies one that is the first in the series of the seed packet series. yeah, seed packet series. And it says Stitchy Seed Company down here, which is kind of fun. Making good progress on this one. And I got my serger had broken, or seized up is what they said. So I got that back this week and was able to serge these fabrics, which is really nice because it was, even weave is notorious for fraying. So this is where this one's at now. This is Bee Stitch Me Sand Dollar, 25 count, 1/1 full cross. All right, come back up here. And it is a nice, neutral color. It's not as dark as the model, so the white didn't show up that much. And I ended up frogging out the petals that I had stitched in bamboo, whatever, Classic Colorworks, whatever that is, and did B5200 instead, which is the whitest of the white that you're going to get, so to make sure it stood out. Even though it's got a separation, I didn't want it to look exactly like the fabric. So, and then I brought this down, filled in the yellow and the light green, and started in on the words. So once the words are done, it's just the border. So I'm hoping I can finish this week. So I will show you what May, Cats and Hearts May looks like in case I am able to get to it. No guarantees, but that would be wonderful. So this is Cats and Hearts May. So that's a fun one. Blues and yellows. So I will hopefully get a small start on this one if I can finish Daisy this week. And have that done before May. That's my plan. So my other kind of travel stitch is Books of the Bible by My Big Toe. And I'm stitching this in the car to and from church. And I made better progress this time than I have some weeks. So I'm on the center green thing, and there was one week I did only the first half of the green thing to and from church. So I had a whole nother half. I'm like, I'll just wait till next week. This time I got like 2/3 of it done. So I went ahead and finished it up at home. And that was kind of my plan going into it anyways, but I'm glad I got more done in the car, so that I could, because one yard, you know, these are pre-cut pieces of floss. One length did one whole green section. So it's nice just to get it start and stop and move it along. So this is Bee Stitch Me 25 count Through the Stones. And it's 1/1 full cross with the called for silks. And so 2 more weeks of green, and then I can work on more brown and start bringing this down. So I'm excited to make more progress on this, get this into the words, but the border is pretty, so it's worth it to make sure it's done. Okay, I think that's all the travel stitching I did. So we can move into temperature stitching. So my temperature daily 30 that I do is where I have 2 projects assigned to each digit, 0 through 9, and just kidding. 1 project assigned to 2 digits. I don't know what I said. So I have 5 projects total, and depending on what the weather is from the day before. So I ended up working on 3 projects, even with just those 5. I guess even if it hadn't been, even if I had had 10 projects, I still would have worked on 3 because it was very consistent. Not really consistent, but the numbers were consistent. So I had 4 times Simpsons was called. 2 were 59 degrees, 2 were 69 degrees, and they weren't at the same time. It was 59, 60, 69, 53, 53, 59, 69. So we're kind of like up and down, but it rained a lot this week. And so let's show Simpsons. The first day on Monday, I didn't end up getting anything done on it because I just ran out of time when I could do it in secret. The last 2 times I was able to easily get my half hour in because there's more afternoon time when my husband is busy playing video games or computer games. So it's easy to get my half hour in. But during the week, it's a little trickier. So Monday, I was not able to do it, but Wednesday, I was able to have more time, and I ended up putting in a whole hour on Wednesday, which covered both Monday and Wednesday. So this got 4 days, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday for a half hour each. And this is an old pattern I got on eBay. And I got total 526 half stitches, which is really nice. So this is 40 count for doll 1/1 half stitches. And the first day, I think I did a little bit of outlining confetti. I filled in a lot of Lisa's face, so there's some obvious stuff for some of you to see. And then I did some more outline confetti, and then I did some white, because I think the next thing was Maggie's eyeballs, and then I also did some white in here. So, which you probably can't really see, but it helps in person, especially when that white texture is there. So if all you can see is Lisa's face, you know, I did something. But I also did some outline stitches, which is fun. What's up, Smokey? Come back up. It's not scary. She's sitting by the door, waiting for me to open it. But I want her to be up here with me. And then I did Robin Christmas one day, but I also did that for my main stitching, so I'll show that in a little bit. And then I did Cupcake Dreams twice. And that was all I did for my temperature stitching. But it was kind of nice just to focus on the same things and see more progress. So this is Tilton Crafts, former freebie, Cupcake Dreams 1. Now I believe it's part of a larger pattern you can get with lots of cupcakes. And this is now, let's see, I worked on this twice. This is a 28 count Jubilee in like a mint green. 73 stitches one day, 72 stitches the next day, and I think I finished one color and started on another. All of it has been in the frosting, and it's looking super cool because they've been darker colors, and so you really see the ridges filling in, which is so fun. So yeah, and this is a nice light green. So this is now at 84.57%. My Simpsons is at 69.54%. So making progress on those. My first main piece, I'll show Robin Christmas in a little bit. But my first main piece was Lollipop, which is one of my first family piece for March. I have, where is it? 4 family pieces, so I want to work on each one of them for 2 days every month. Not family pieces, gift stitching. I'm changing it, gift stitching, because one of them is for a gift, but not for family. This is artwork by Denise Garbus. This is from my daughter. And I love working on this one whenever I pull it out. So I did, feels like forever. I'm like, oh, I worked on that? Because it's been a week, I guess. This is also 40 count for doll 1/1 half cross. And this is my progress. I did 314 half stitches on day 1. I believe it was all in the moon. And then the second day was 270 stitches. A lot of it was in the dragon wings. And then, so 584 total, 9.12%. So I filled in a lot of this, I think it's 3865 in the moon. Not quite done with that color, but I did a lot of it. And then I am picking symbols here in the wing, which is a lot of confetti. So it kind of came down here. Some of it also filled in the clouds over here to finish my strings. But yeah, pretty fun. That'll come back out next month. Next month, the Magazine Monthly Challenge group is doing another bingo game. The last few years, they've done a bingo game in January and September. Bringo and AB Singo, where they call one block every day for the first 25 days of the month. And I like doing those. It kind of spices things up a little bit. Apparently everyone else likes them too, so they decided to add another one. So they're going to do one in April this year. It's the inaugural April bingo, and they're calling it Springo. This one will be a little bit different. They're going to have, it's more of an acrostic style to pick your projects. And so it's going to be a 7x5 board instead of a 5x5 board. And so we'll pick projects to align with the letters Springo. So Springo. I'd probably mess it up. But anyways. So I'm hoping to fit, that's 7 of them. So I'm putting my 4 gift pieces, 2 WIP Go pieces, and then a new start that I had planned with some friends. So that will be my 7 projects. I don't know my WIP Go pieces yet for April, so I'm kind of waiting to put them in assign them 2 letters until I know what those projects are going to be. Let me let her out because she's not happy. I'll be right back. I didn't want to have her keep whining in the background. So anyways, Lollipop will be assigned one of the letters of Springo. And then since there's like, what is that, 35 different possible numbers, but they're only calling numbers still the first 25 days of the month. So some of the numbers won't get called, but so I don't know how many days each of them will get worked on. And I already randomized my numbers. You can make a list and randomize it in the random number website. So I have my numbers. So essentially, if they call the number 12, then I would work on whatever project I have assigned for R. And we'll only be doing vertical bingos and horizontal bingos. And I don't play officially. I don't like to post anything because it's just too much work. So I'll just be playing for fun. But I know my new start, Isabella's Garden by Lavender and Lace, will be my eye, and then everything else. These are just tentative. I'll fill them in. Oh, I have spring montage in here, but I don't think I'm going to do that after all. Because I want to do, that's my seasonal Sunday piece, but I want to do my gift stitching and WIP Go pieces, and then my new start will be the 7. So I may take this one out and do that at the end of the month. But we'll see. If none of the other ones work, then maybe I'll do one of my gift pieces at the end of the month. So we'll kind of just wait and see. I'll play that by ear, depending on what the WIP Go calls are for April. So now we can go to Robin Christmas. This one was one of my WIP Go calls for March. So I worked on this for 2 days for my regular stitching. It also came out for 1/2 hour of temperature daily 30 on a different day than I was planning to work on it for my regular pieces, which is nice. So technically parts of 3 days. This is my adjusted version. I took some blocks out and kind of shortened it so it's a little quicker to finish, by the Historical Sampler Company. And this one does go a little slower for me, but I'm making progress. It's coming along. Here is this one now. This is 32 count linen, 2/2 full cross with the called for DMC, the call for fabric too. It all came together. Let's see, 58 stitches for my temperature 1/2 hour, then 253 on Wednesday and 200 on Thursday. I didn't add them up, but let's see, 2, 3, 4, about 500 stitches. It's now at 60.66%. I finished the pink in that stocking, so this block is now done. I did all of this block, all these cute trees. Those are really nice. And then got started on this little sprig. I think that's some antlers and then some white in these candies, and brought some border down. So these things were just like finishing up strings. So I still have some thread on my needle for the border, so I might do a little bit more border and then get started on whatever this is. I think it's a pine. There's little sprigs of like pine needles and then candy canes, and then another little block right here, this reindeer. So that might be the next thing I do. So it's coming along slowly but surely. This will get 2 full days, 2 regular stitching sessions, and not full days. I don't stitch that much. And then whatever, if it comes out for temperature stitching, it would get a little bit more time then as well. I did work on Little Owl Patchwork twice for calls with friends, my sister and then Colette, the highway stitcher. So even though this didn't come out on temperature stitching, I did work on it a little bit. So I go ahead and show that now because I forgot to do that in my random sections. This is on my own fabric, 25 count Frost by Bee Stitch Me, and 1/1 full cross, called for DMCs, 157 stitches while I chatted with my sister, and then 230 when I chatted with Colette. So now it's at 31.85%. I finished the owl, worked a lot on this quilt square. There's just one more color here in the center that I need to finish up. And then finishing my strings, I worked in some of this green bits in the center. So that's fun, making progress. And the next regular pieces I worked on were just miscellaneous pieces, because I was thinking they were things I may have started previously in March, but when I was looking back at the things I'd chosen to work on in March for my like Friday, Saturday days, they were things that I had start dates for the first quarter, essentially, January, February, March. So not necessarily started in March, but things that were in the first quarter that I hadn't yet touched and looked interesting. So the first one I worked on was Once Upon a Time by Butternut Road. And I'm working up here in this background scene. I will be happy when this background bits are done. It's a little bit tedious. I did a little bit on a second day as well to finish, get a little bit more done, but I got like three or four lengths of thread. This is the called for 32 count raw linen, 2/2 full cross, and I worked here in the background. So I got like maybe two different lengths of thread in the background and like one short length of thread in the castle. I think that might have been all I did. So not a ton, but more than last time. And that's all we can ask for. Every stitch counts. And I believe I started this as a New Year, New Start a year or two ago, probably 2 years ago. So that was a January one. And then my next one that was just kind of a fun one here is Jardin Privé's Sampler of Fleur. And this is really fun. Like, I really liked working on this. I was kind of sad I only had one day. So I'm thinking next year, I had talked last time that maybe my WIP Go board will have 6 categories represented, and then each category I'll pick one project and put that project on the board 4 times. So it'll get some major progress, whatever I pick, but it'll make sure across the categories I'm kind of making significant progress on 6 different types of projects. This one might be a contender for the sampler category because it's just so pretty. I would love to make more progress on it. So this is on 40 count Morganite linen by Fiber on a Whim, 1/2 full cross with some Soie d'Alger silks that I converted it to from the DMCs because I wanted to try to see if they're a little bit thicker than DMC, and they are slightly thicker, so the coverage is slightly better, and I'm happy with that. So I was able to, I didn't realize this wasn't completely done, so I finished these pink flowers and the dark blue. I finished the D and a little bit of the E to finish my string. So this is the halfway point right here. I'm going to keep going this way next time I pull this out, whenever that is, and get all the way to the edge. So, but so fun. This was really nice. So yeah, that would be nice to pull this out next year for more time. Unless another sampler comes along, I want to do even more. I don't know. We'll wait and see. But I put it next to it as a thing, something to consider. I also had been thinking, I watched Caroline's Stitchy Corner, I think is what her channel is called. Yeah, Caroline's Stitch Corner. And she has, her big WIP Go board this year is a bunch of very large projects to get 1,000 stitches on each one. I'm like, ooh, I like that idea. So potentially, since this year I'm finishing a lot of things left will be harder to finish. So I might just want to make progress on things next year. So in addition to that WIP Go board, I might have a second WIP Go board that will have my largest projects and have a stitch goal for them. My 25 largest things in Pattern Keeper. So to see them get some progress. So that's an idea. I liked that. And then my seasonal Sunday piece, Spring Cross, has made a reappearance. I kind of UFO'd this series for a couple years because I just wasn't ever, whenever they got called or came up, I'm like, I don't really want to work on that. And I didn't really want that feeling. So, but I felt like it was time to bring them back, kind of want them back in my rotation again. I just went ahead and continued to use the paper pattern, especially after my Joann's purchase. I'm a little bit, I don't want to be splurging on more patterns when I have the one in front of me. So it worked. It worked fine. So I loved working on this. I enjoyed it. I'm excited to bring this out every Sunday this March. So that'll be fun. This is on the called for everything. It was a kit. So it's this 14 count light blue Ada. The back stitching is 1/1, and then the cross stitches are two strands. So I did two or three lengths of back stitching. And so I did a little bit, yeah, I did mostly back stitching over here, but I finished a string to finish this line. So that's fun. I love the back stitching words, that like wallpaper background. And then I did this leaf that's kind of in the middle of the words because it was easy to count to, filled in this purple flower bud thing. And so next time on this Sunday coming up, there's a lot of back stitching right here that I could easily do now. And then I'll probably work on filling in whatever is here so that I can move on to the tulip, and then I can backstitch these twigs. Pretty much everything is backstitched. So I have a game plan, and I'm happy that this is coming out again, and it will see a few more Sundays here in March. So we'll see some good progress on this, I think. Happy about that. All right, I think that's everything I worked on. So now we can talk plans. This week, my gift stitch will be my mom's piece. So it'll be Beachcomber by Lindy Stitches. I'm here in the whale, so we'll see. I pulled my own threads, so they're not what's called for. They're close, but this middle one is a Live and Die LA floss that I'm doing on the whale, and I'm really enjoying it. This is 40 count raw or natural linen 1/2 full cross. And this is the Stitch Shenanigans Retreat 2023 exclusive floss. So there's no real name for it, but it's really pretty. So we'll see how much of that whale I can get done. If I can get it all the way done, if partially done, I have no idea. This didn't take that long to get that far. So we'll have to wait and see. Kind of depends on my time as well. So that's that one. And then I'll work on Robin Christmas Patchwork again for 2 days to finish up the WIP Go goal on that one, because my goal on those are 4 days each. Those are my focus pieces. And then the two kind of miscellaneous pieces that I decided to pull out that were they have start dates from the first quarter, are Petal Fairy. I'll work on this on Friday by Mirabilia. I believe I started this for my friend Desiree's birthday because her birthday's on St. Patrick's Day. So I was working on some pretty green fabric. So I'll pull this out for 1 day. And this always gets just a little bit of progress. So hopefully I can get a little bit more. This came out towards the end of the year, I think. And I did this little bit of wing, and my thread's still my needle. I really didn't get very much done on it. So it's brighter green than it's showing, but that's okay. So hopefully I can make some better progress on that. I am, like I'm doing with most of my Mirabilias, I'm gonna try to work my way to the top. That's why I was heading up the wings, so that I can work from the top down. So I like to do that. Hop, skip, and jump my way up to the top and then fully complete coming back down again. And then the other piece that I wanted to pull out is Friends of the Library. This one is so much fun, and I'm hoping it'll eventually be on my like temperature daily 30, because it's not that big. It's got a little ways to go. I have to finish some things before it is close enough to the top to make it in there, but that would be a fun one for the temperature daily 30. This was a former needlepoint kit by Bucilla, maybe? And I was struggling with the painted canvas, not matching up with the chart, and the chart was not really X by X, but it had like stair-step boxes that I could kind of convert into stitches. So I went ahead and took the time to convert the pattern from a needlepoint, you know, this space is this color, to stitches, put it in Pattern Keeper, and restarted it on 18 count Ada. So it's no longer a needlepoint piece, and I am loving it so much more. So this is now, this is where this is at now. And I am doing my typewriter method where I pick symbols along the top. I believe the top 10 by 10 row is all the way done. So I'm picking symbols along the second 10 by 10 row now, then stitching them in wherever they go to finish the thread. So that one will be Saturday's piece, and then I'll go back to Spring Floral Cross on Sunday. So that's fun. Yay! So I love that. I am hopeful that I can get through all my projects for at least one day this year, because I have a lot of projects still on my list that don't have any dates or don't have any work. So I don't know, we'll have to see. Because I have all my projects kind of listed out by start date. There's a lot of them. And so I would like to touch everything at least once. Some things are getting multiple touches because they are more focused pieces. And some things are, I will maybe only get one day on them this year, but it's better than nothing. And some of these I haven't worked on in a couple years. So I'm really hoping that I can touch everything at least once, because I love them all. So I think that's everything. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Enjoy your March, and happy stitching. Bye.